Yeah, the Department of Defense is not known for nation building. I mean, it's not their mission. And legislatively, USAID and state should be more involved in that. But what happens when you get into a place like Afghanistan, and Afghanistan's not unique. I mean, what I'm saying is, you're in a conflict zone, a post-conflict or conflict country where there's actually fighting going on. State Department and aid may have, by law, the mission to do nation building or to do work on rule of law or whatever, but they don't have the ability to do it in a non-permissive area, translate it into a dangerous area. So DOD doesn't have the mission, but it has the capability of sending people out there in a non-permissive environment and to work into it. And this is a problem we've identified in our reports. And what we're telling Congress and the administration is, look, you need to resort out who's in charge the next time you do this, and make certain that the person in charge has the capability and the training. Now, I mean, give you a classic example. The Justice Department and the State Department should have taken the lead by law in training the police. But in a non-permissive environment, neither of them could. So the military started training the police. So what did the military do? They sent UH-60 pilots out to train police. And we actually documented this, that a number of these pilots, they're saying, well, my rotation, I got to train a cop. I don't know anything about police training. So
you're kidding. They sent helicopter pilots out.
Oh, yeah. They sent people with code. I mean, I just picked them. I'm not criticizing helicopter pilots.
No,
but in this case, so what did they do? Before they went over, they received no training at all on how to train police. They sat down and watched TV shows on policing. And based upon that, they went over. And that's like the example I told you about the Balkans. You know, somebody said, well, I remember we got some old manuals, actually, I think written in either Serbian, Croatian, or Hungarian, or whatever language. We'll give them to the Afghans because, we know about that. So that's the disconnect. And I don't blame the military. They're given the wrong tasks because we haven't worked out how to do it with state and aid. And I just cite that as one example. There was a horrible program that wasted millions of dollars called the Task Force for Business Stabilization and Operations. And it basically was a program that came from Iraq. I don't know how good it was in Iraq, but came from Iraq, in which the military would try to jumpstart the economy. Now, just stop for a second. I mean, what is our military trained to do? It's usually trained to destroy economies, not build it. So this was one where they spent money like drunken sailors, and they came up with programs that looked pretty good on paper, but had no reality in Afghanistan. And we've documented this. I mean, they're the ones who, they flew in a bunch of sexy Italian goats to try to jumpstart. Didn't mean to make a joke there, but jumpstart the wool industry in Afghanistan. Well, it wasn't a bad idea, except the sexy Italian goats either died or were eaten in the process. And that cost millions of dollars. Again, if you look back at our monitoring and evaluation report, this is the thing. If you check the boxes, okay, we got goats, we transported them, we built a pen, we got, less sexy goats in Afghanistan. They worked together, and TFBSO said it was a success.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. The problem is, we interviewed the woman who was an expert on goat production and all of that, who said they tried to do in 6 months or 9 months what would take 5 years. And as a result, she quit. And when we later came back, we couldn't find, head nor hair of any goat. So we assumed they all died, had been culled or eaten or stolen. So inputs looked good, outputs looked good, outcomes, zippo.